Yes, sir. Loud.
Yes, sir.
Bit louder. Your voice is too faint. Bit louder so that it must be audible. Yeah, it's very faint. Sing loud. No, just keep your tone bit high.
Values are fundamental principles that guide behavior and decision making in the whole personal and societal context. So, values are things values for honesty, discipline, and other values that based on conflict are playing a very crucial role in personal growth and as well as in societal growth or cultural growth. Values are often defined as five different values are further classified into three types: modeling, visualization, and personal shared values. All values are the fundamental principles like honesty, respect, and fairness that influence decision and action in the everyday life. On the other hand, visualization, different societies recognize values differently shaped belief, tradition, and norms. And the third one is values which is shared. While individuals have personal values, shared values, for example, justice, right, communication values. Let's clarify these three types of values. Core values are those values that are for the growth of myself, and the justifications are those values that are for our culture growth and personal position or the comparison of two for being culture or being another one. What I mean is that honesty and fairness. For example, honesty. If I am a honest person, then this will be a value for me or for culture. Values in personal growth. Guiding decision. Values help individuals make ethical choices, aligning actions with long-term goals. For example, choosing honesty over deceit. Second one is critical. Practicing values like business and self-discipline, and third one is fulfillment. Living with the meaningful values, for example, profession enhance life satisfaction and happiness. Let's come to the values in relationships. This is certain. This is certain. Let's try to take life. Trust, foundation, conflict, resolutions, diversity. Shared values like integrity, strength and growth, in friendship, family, and partnership. Conflict resolution, respect, and peace enables constructive dialogue during disagreements. And the third one is diversity acceptance. Wherein difference foster inclusive, harmonious, and interactions. Now I would like to talk today I am going to present on the topic different values in a society and culture. As already presented, various types of core values and beliefs that are found in our society at different levels. Further moving upwards comes the values in the community. These values in a community are basically divided into three groups, that is social coherence, civic responsibility, and cultural preservation. Going towards social coherence, we come to
That is social cohesion.
cohesion. Social cohesion, we come to know that these
These are common values, for example, cooperation to unite communities to address shared challenges. In social cohesion, we unite different people in our society based on different approaches according to the will and the betterment of the society. The more the people who are the better it is for the society, as the united society, they can conquer different tasks more easily and more precisely regarding the betterment of the society as compared to a single unified task. Moving towards civic responsibility, these are values like volunteerism, drive, collective progress, for example, neighborhood and cleanups. As in the past days, our University of Chakwa organized a cleanup drive in which students and different focal persons of different societies collectively moved from the main gate of the University of Chakwa to the Tessie Chowk, where they held a drive of cleanup in which the area was cleaned properly, ensuring the healthy environment for the students and the neighbors by cultural preservation. Traditions and rituals reflect a community's enduring values. For example, in our society, there is Islamic culture. Depending on the rules and regulations of Islam, the people in this culture must abide by the rules set by the Allah Almighty and His Prophet, peace be upon him. And that is how a good community or good social group of people work in our united environment. More often, we come to know about the values in education. These are categorized as moral development, critical thinking, and global citizenship. Moral development. For example, if you take an example of schools, in Pakistan, children are forced to go to school from the age of as young as 3 years old, whereas in more developed nations such as Finland, students are fed into school at the age of around 7 years old. And science also proves that the hand of a child is not made properly in the age of 7 so that he might hold a pencil and write things that are forced to be taught to the student in an educational environment. Critical thinking. Education encourages evaluating actions through a value-based lens, for example, justice. We all know a famous saying of Albert Einstein, in which he says that if you judge a monkey, an elephant, a fish, and a deer by the scale to climb a tree, they cannot be at the same level, as a monkey can climb a tree more easily and a fish can't even dare to climb a tree. Similarly, this is the situation in our educational system. If there is critical thinking, there will be progress. Depending upon the students' way of thinking and teachers' way of delivering the subjects they are going to deliver. Global citizenship. Values like tolerance prepare students for diverse, interconnected societies. In our daily driven society, there is a lack of tolerance. As our Islam suggests, Islam also says that there should be tolerance and somewhat humble in our daily life doings and daily life tasks that people are involved in. So, as going towards the educational level, students must be taught values such as tolerance so that they can abide by the rules more humbly depending upon the situation they are facing. Another important term, values in a workplace. Now here comes the ethical standards, teamwork and corporate
Yes, what's very well the previous slide.
Yes, sir.
Critical thinking.
Yes, sir.
What is your actually second word? Critical thinking.
Critical thinking involves the three basic steps of first understanding the problem, then thinking of a solution or the solution required, and then implementing that solution required to create a solution for that particular problem.
Okay, can you go on this particular instance in this regard of critical thinking in the context of academic perspective?
So for example, if we have a task given to us, for example, an assignment given to us for making a robot, we have first to identify the problem that we are going to solve with that robot. For example, if that robot is a cleaner robot, or if that robot is a tech robot, depending upon the problem we are going to face, we will design the outline of that robot. Then working will be done on that particular problem solving robot, and in the end, we will give the solution that is the particular robot itself. That is the solution, and this is how critical thinking works and gives solution in the practical sense.
Yes, but if it is solution oriented, we have quoted an example of robots,
Yes.
keeping in view its specification, and by doing okay need analysis, we need to design it. But here, the example is justice. In the perspective of justice, how would you define critical thinking?
For example, if in daily life courts, there are different scenarios based upon the incidents that have happened.
When we're talking about the values in education, then obviously for justice there are certain set parameters.
Yes, sir.
And then one needs to be judged according to those parameters. I'm just asking in that context. Quote a single example.
So,
Suppose
for
you are
example, the justice system of England is just based on their moral values. For example, if we consider the justice system of Pakistan, it is based on a book that has been written and it is laws in a way. Whereas this system of England, that is not laws or there isn't any book related to the law and rule and regulations of that country. Moreover, there are just moral values on which justice is being done in that country.
simply explain this one. Education encourages evaluating actions through a value-based lens. What do you mean by value-based lens?
For example, there are different kinds of students. One is good at drawing and another is good at maths. So we will judge both of them at a different level of skills. We will not judge the person who is good at maths with his drawing skills and the person who is good at his drawing skills with his maths skills.
Oh, that is something else. Maybe you are quoting that example of elephant, monkey, and like that. So that's why I have raised this question. It has nothing to do with it here, as far as the critical thinking is concerned. You are taking in the perspective of justice in society, justice in
Then we
the
see justice if there are four animals, a monkey, an elephant, a giraffe, and a fish. There is injustice between them that if they are being judged on the basis of climbing a tree, how come a fish can climb a tree?
So how can you judge all these four species at a single parameter?
Yes, sir, that is the thing that evaluating actions to value-based lens. Different values, different actions are judged differently according to their particular lens. We will not judge everybody in the society with the same lens.
This is another excuse we can say.
So we might have different opinions on this.
Talking in the context, for example, justice. Okay, quote an example of justice here from perspective of critical thinking.
For example, there is a murder case. There must be done critical thinking. There are two convicts of that case. They both have the charges on them of the murder, but the murder that has been done was not done by both of them. So here, critical thinking is essential to evaluate who is the murderer and who is what the one who has done such a horrible crime. Without critical thinking, you cannot evaluate that particular case.
Now you are getting closer to it, to some extent you can say. Still, there are some areas that need to be covered right now. Like you say, value-based lens. Now you need to quote the constitutional, well-written, legal and moral codes. You need to proceed against the murder according to the set standards. Right? He or she should be given the due right of his or her defense. Just to within that context, you need to develop critical thinking. You need not just simply pass on judgment of your own, likes and dislikes. So you need to go through why the facts and as per the. So in that perspective, you can say critical thinking is very necessary. You need to integrate that characteristic within the students.
Yes.
Okay, who the next slide?
Values in the workplace. Ethical standards, teamwork, corporate responsibility. Moving toward the ethical standards, integrity and accountability builds trust in the team, in teams and organizations. If we move towards a greater perspective of an organization, there are two major values on which the organization stands still, and they are integrity and accountability. This accountability can occur at individual level or at the level of organization. For example, a person is going to judge himself according to the deliverance he is giving in his past month or his past week.
How many slides are remaining?
Yes, sir.
How many slides are remaining?
Five, six, seven.
Yes. Read the second point, teamwork.
Respect and collaboration enhance productivity and innovation. Companies prioritizing sustainability reflect societal values.
Read the last one once again. Companies.
Companies prioritizing sustainability reflects societal values. This,
Elaborate this the last
this
one.
means that, for example, there are companies working in the same field. For instance, oil and gas. One is working on the carbon emissions done by that oil and gas, and the other one doesn't even bother to manage the waste that is coming in form of sulfur or carbon or any other harmful toxins. In these both perspectives of these organizations, the company that is working in the long-term effort, that is prioritizing the successful management of harmful and toxic waste, is going to be standing firmly on the social values as compared to the company that is not working properly in waste management and in carbon storage and emission. That's it.
So what is your corporate responsibility?
Something corporate responsibility
The
is-
one that is damaging more
Yes, sir.
the ecosystem and then you can say the life of aquarium. So they need to actually serve and take back the society.
Yes, sir.
By
They
good
can
management
be
of-
in number of ways, for example, creating good roads, extra luxury facilities for the welfare of the society. They can build hospitals, they can drive plantation drives.
See, we have discussed in CSR. Let me
Yes,
move
sir.
on next.
Values in leadership, role modeling, decision making, and most importantly, trust building.
Read it.
Ethical leaders inspire others by exemplifying values like honesty. In decision making, values guide leaders to prioritize long-term welfare over short-term gains, as discussed earlier. Trust building. Transparent leadership fosters public confidence and sustainability. Maybe the next. Challenges to values. There are three challenges listed to be valued in our society. These are changing norms, moral dilemmas, and
Commercialization.
commercialization. Local and technology, globalization and technology can erode traditional values, causing generational conflicts. Moral dilemma.
Move to the next one. Quickly.
Competing values, for example, freedom versus security, challenge societal balance. Consumerism may overshadow values like simplicity and contentment. Preserving values. Values can be preserved from the three major point of views: media influence, education, and community engagement. Media influence, promoting value-driven stories reinforces positive social scientific norms. In education, teaching values early ensures they endure across generations. Community engagement, grassroots individuals, for example, moral meaning, strength, shared value. for global peace. Universal principles, conflict preservation, sustainable development. These are
conflict prevention.
mutual respect reduces tensions between nations and cultures. May I explain that?
Read it. Values like human dignity,
Values like human dignity transcends borders, fostering international cooperation, sustainable development, global values, for example, environmental stewardship, ensures a thriving future.
and the second one,
Conflict prevention. Mutual respect reduces tensions between nations and cultures.
with a single remove correction.
Conclusion. Values matter. How do values matter? They can matter into three main categories as categorized below. Timeless relevance, individual role, and motivation. Values adapt but remain vital for societal progress. Everyone contributes to upholding values in a daily life routine. Reflect on the practice values to build a better world. These are major ways we can protect and why values matter. So everyone should abide by these three categories as discussed. Preserve values in our society for the betterment of the society and the coming generations. In the end, I would like to quote the Prophet peace be upon him. The Prophet peace be upon him said, "Truthfulness leads to righteousness, and righteousness leads to paradise. And a man keeps on telling the truth until he becomes a truthful person. Falsehood leads to al-fujur, that is wickedness, evil doing, and al-fujur, wickedness, leads to the hell fire. And a man may keep on telling lies till he is written before Allah alive."
Till he is written before Allah.
Alive. Batao.
That's all.
Yes.
It was a good presentation, but